Welcome to the channel about a healthy lifestyle.
What happens if you give up sugar ultimately for 2 weeks? The first thing you'll notice is that your face will change from a round and puffy face. It will become a thinner one. On the waist, belly fat will go away because your liver will lose fat. When you give up sugar, your body will be forced to eat fat because sugar and fat are the body's only two energy sources. When the body can choose between them, it always burns sugar, not fat. If you take sugar away, the only thing left is fat, and the body has to use up its reserves, and it starts with the liver. The second thing that will happen is that the changes will affect the four organs first. More than the other organs, your eyes will be better, your vision will become clearer, and you will see better. The eyes are very sensitive to sugar. That's why diabetics develop such a disease as diabetic retinopathy, which is the destruction of the retinal nerve tissue of the back wall. The kidneys will also get better. The kidneys are another organ that suffers from excess sugar. That's why you might have sugar or protein in your urine, because sugar causes inflammation in the kidneys. It kind of rusts the tubules, the blood vessels that go through the kidneys to filter. It's called diabetic nephropathy. They are such little filters in the kidneys, so the kidneys will work better. Arteries. With excess sugar, diabetic angiopathy develops, and when you give up sugar, the inflammation in the arteries, all that rusty, excess glucose effect will start to go away. Since sugar is converted not only to fat but also to cholesterol, the level of cholesterol will also improve dramatically. Nerves and brain. When you reduce sugar in your diet, your nerves begin to heal. Suppose you have a diabetes companion like peripheral neuropathy, which destroys the nerve endings in your feet. This disease will begin to recede, because the brain is made up of nerves. It too will begin to heal. Two main functions in the brain will improve. First, is cognitive function, which means your memory, attention, and concentration will improve. You will find that your mood has changed, and you will become much happier. Prevention and treatment of diabetes. What is diabetes? It is a disease associated with excess sugar in the blood. If you have diabetes, give up sugar. The next thing you will notice is that you will get up much less often to pee at night. Why? Because water follows sugar. If you eat sugar, it passes through the blood and is excreted through the kidneys, and you need to pee more often, especially at night. A simple solution is to limit your sugar intake, and you'll find that you are less likely to have to get up at night. The next thing that will improve is energy. The body can run on two types of fuel, sugar and fat. When you give up sugar, the body has to burn fat, and there are many more fat calories in the body than there are sugar calories. I'm talking about sugar stores and fat stores. On average, each thin person carries about 100,000 kilocalories in the form of fat. By comparison, our sugar reserves are about 1,700 kilocalories. To use an analogy, it's like comparing a car battery to a pinky battery. If you power your whole body with a pinky battery, you will be hungry all the time. You are going to be hungry forever. You are going to have energy fluctuations. But if you're burning fat, you are no longer subject to sugar swings, and especially energy and fatigue cycles. In between meals, the body has to eat fat. The average person with a normal diet can't even begin to expend fat because there's too much sugar. By reducing that sugar and switching your body to fat, you will be eating that fat all the time, between meals and also during meals. This will give you a huge steady flow of energy throughout the day, and your brain will feel better. The next point is food cravings. Your appetite goes away between meals, even though you don't eat at these times, precisely because your body is eating its own fat during these periods. And since it is eating during these times, it stays full and you won't be hungry. The only way to achieve this is to give up sugar, and not eat often, not to snacking. How to get rid of sugar cravings. Not eat sugar. This process takes 3 days and it is not that difficult. Everyone can do it. You just have to grit your teeth and do it. Reduce carbohydrates to less than 50 grams a day. This includes fruit. This includes honey, and many other hidden sugars. Other carbohydrates such as bread, pasta, cereal, cookies, waffles, and things like that. The average person consumes about 13.5 teaspoons of added sugar daily. What about sugar from other carbohydrates, such as bread, pasta, alcoholic beverages like wine or beer, carbonated drinks, juices, and so on? All of these add up to about half a pound or 275 grams of sugar daily. When you switch to burning fat, you feel great. The improvement in mood and cognitive function alone will surprise you. You will feel great. You'll look better, too. Your clothes will fit better. Your face will be less round. You won't crave sugar, which is very important. Your blood vessels will become less stiff. This means that your blood pressure will no longer be as high and the need for medication will drop dramatically. And since anti-inflammatory drugs are very popular now, you might be able to get off those medications as well, because your inflammation will go away. Inflammation inside the blood vessels makes the blood vessel walls thicker, and the thicker the vessel wall, the less room there is for blood flow, and the more susceptible you are to things like blood clots. So by giving up sugar, you are improving blood flow to your body tissues. You will lose weight, but not just weight, specifically fat. At first, you will lose a lot of water weight, because wherever there is glucose stored as glycogen, along with it will be stored a triple mass of water. That is, the stored sugar is essentially a sponge filled with liquid. You will lose at least 6 kilograms in the first week or two only due to the refusal of sugar. This is important, but even more importantly, you will switch to fat expenditure and start to lose weight. Think of all the good things about losing weight and being able to do it effectively. If you try to go on a carbohydrate diet, you will find it very difficult. Carbohydrates turn into fat and cholesterol. Most of your liver fat comes from carbs. I'm not talking about the carbs that are in the greens. I'm talking about bread, pasta, starch, potatoes, and so on. Your skin is improving, and your acne will start to go away. Skin problems like red rashes will go away, because we take away inflammation everywhere, including the skin. That's one of changing the shape of the face because there will be less inflammation and puffiness around the eyes and on the cheeks. Many people don't see the cause and effect relationship that their face is puffy because of excess carbohydrates. Insulin resistance. Insulin is a hormone that is activated by sugar and carbohydrates. When insulin goes up, it's always because of carbohydrates, and when the body develops resistance to something, it rejects it. There is also glucose intolerance, which is a form of resistance. If you eat a lot of sugar for a long time, the body resists and the sugar is no longer accepted because the body has created a barrier for it. It has stopped tolerating it. It's the same with insulin. If there is too much insulin, it is toxic and dangerous to the body, so the body develops resistance to it. To solve the problem, the body produces more insulin to push through this resistance. We have a situation where the body produces a lot of insulin, hence all the side effects I mentioned. Many of them are caused not only by glucose but by insulin itself. But, at the same time, at the cellular level, we have a lack of insulin, and this situation also creates problems. Eventually, the insulin-producing pancreas becomes exhausted and can no longer compensate for the resistance and break through its barrier. It gets tired and stops producing the right amount of insulin, which is when diabetes begins, when the pancreas is no longer compensating and we don't have enough insulin to bring the blood sugar down to normal. With insulin resistance, you have a slow metabolism. You are going to have a level below which there's no way the weight will go down. Neither dieting nor working out will allow your weight to go below that level. And you also need insulin for other things like absorbing potassium, magnesium, vitamins B1 and D, calcium, and many other nutrients. By giving up sugar, you will reduce insulin resistance and increase the absorption of all these nutrients, including amino acids for building proteins. If you had atrophy that looks like cellulite on your legs and buttocks, suddenly it will start to recede. You will have more muscle and your body will get a better shape. Getting rid of insulin resistance will help with liver fat, will help reduce the risk of heart disease, stroke, and even cancer. That you eat a lot of sugar, or conversely, do not eat it on principle. Share your experiences and opinions. It will be interesting. And now, I recommend you to watch my other video, where I talk about foods that prevent the formation of blood clots. Thank you for your likes, comments, and subscriptions. In the description of the video, you will find more useful information. All the best to you.
I wish you health.